Let's spend 10 minutes together to change your life.
I had literally just had a discussion with this guy and I just repeated what he said to me. So totally inexperienced, but I tried it. And here's the thing, it's scary. Like not knowing everything is scary, right? And but you have to learn to you have to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you're not okay with being uncomfortable, you will never get past where you are today, right?
Yeah, you
You
take big
it's
moves, bold moves. Like, you get to know the
Yes.
owners in more detail, and you present offers that they might not have necessarily expected. It's a bold move that you make.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
creates a win-win
You,
situation from both sides. I mean,
yeah.
Absolutely.
And part sometimes it's not going to work, right? Sometimes you're going to fall flat on your face. And I think there's this attitude in society today that if we can't do it perfect, we're not going to do it. You I've been in business for over 30 years now, and it's never been perfect. I'm just going to tell you, it's never been perfect. There's always something that I'm tweaking. There's always something that I'm learning. I remember when I started a company, that's been quite a few years ago, but we were changing what we were doing in the construction industry. And so we just were like, we're going to start a new company. So we sold everything we had. We started this new company. And I remember the very first day, I got up and I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you do not currently possess the talents and abilities that you need to lead this company. The key there is I don't currently possess them, but I knew that I didn't have what it took to actually do what we were trying to do. So I just embarked on this journey of learning, becoming a voracious learner. And if I don't know how to do something, I find someone that does, and I ask questions and I take advice. Um, and so there's this constant stretching process that goes on, and stretching is uncomfortable, and being willing to put yourself out there is it's uncomfortable. Um, you know, heck, this is uncomfortable. I don't do interviews or whatever. I don't. So this is me. One of the reasons that I agreed to do this was because I wanted to stretch myself. You know, um, I want to do something new.
You're doing a great job.
yeah, this is really useful. I mean,
So I still, where can I go to learn more about creative financing? What could I read? Could I ask Chat GPT, for
Yeah,
example, to write me up a seller financing contract based on what I know
yeah.
about the
This
sellers,
is
based on what I want?
this is a question I actually get a lot, and um, it's a hard one to answer. The area that I play in of creative finance is not well known. It's not new and it's not proprietary information. It's been around for 50 plus years. Um, but there's not a lot of common information out there. So I would say there's some authors that you can read. There's a guy by the name of Jack Miller. He wrote a book called Wealth Without Risk. It's a great place to start. Um, so anything by Jack Miller, he's kind of the father of creative real estate. Anything by Jack Shea is good. Pete Fortunato. Pete Fortunato is um, one of the brightest minds that we've ever had on notes and mortgages. He's actually still alive, but anything by Pete Fortunato is absolutely is gold. Um, there's John Schaub is another author, and these are all older guys that have. Jack Miller's not alive, but everyone else is still alive, but they're older. I think Pete's in his 80s. Um, and there's also a website called Cash Flow Depot, and there's a lot. It's kind of a repository for creative finance books and seminars. And I'm not affiliated with the website, so I'm not plugging them, but I am a member of it. And you can buy you can buy a lifetime membership. I think it's $300 or something like that. But there's a huge library of um, books, seminars, even contracts and paperwork. Um, but again, it's you got to go find this information, right? It's not readily available. Um, and the best way that I have found is, besides reading books, is just finding someone that does it and hanging out with them, saying, "Hey, can I buy you coffee?" You know, ask them some questions. If you can find somebody in your local market that does it, that's even better.
I'm gonna hang out with him every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to plan my next trip to come see you.
Your calendar's gonna blow up.
Uh, well, I do this because it's fun. This is real estate to me. It's fun. That's it captures my imagination, and it's never the same thing. And I think me and some of the guys that I hang out with, we want more people involved in creative financing, because the more people that do it, the more people are comfortable with it, and we don't have to explain as much, because some of the stuff we do, and we've only touched on a few very basic strategies. Um, it's a deep rabbit hole, and it can get into some really cool deals that you can do. I mean, we're talking deals where you've got, I call them domino deals. You're doing 7, 8, 10 closings at a time, because each deal is predicated on the deal before it. Um, and so, that's higher level stuff. But um, if you start down this road, there's some really neat stuff you can do with real estate. You can limit risk, and you can supercharge gains and have a lot of fun doing it.
Jonny, next time we're gonna have you on and let's go over a deal. Any deal that you think would be a
Okay,
good starting point
sure.
for me,
Yeah, we
and
can do it.
we'll take
Yeah,
it from there.
Yeah, I mean, just to recap, I mean, you don't need money to get started. Just get started. Bring the deal. The money follows. Just
Get
keep
creative,
get creative.
explore the new frontier of creative
Yeah, and
finance.
go out there, talk to your gardeners, talk to
yeah,
your landscapers, bankers, everyone you know. Tell them you're looking for a deal,
yeah,
and you'll find something.
yeah. You'll find some. Yeah, and I would add, don't worry about the deal structure. Figure out what the seller is trying to accomplish. If you can figure out what the seller, just ask questions. Don't be, when I was starting, I just would ask questions, and then I would go back to my mentor and say, how the hell do I put this together? And, you're not selling them, they're selling you. And so just get that information out of them. Once you know what they need, you can structure a deal
Yeah,
to meet their needs.
ask is why are they selling, right? You need to know what side of the equation are on, right? Are they desperate
Why?
to cover their bills?
Yep.
Are their kids,
Yep.
taking over the property? I
Yes.
mean, are they moving, relocating for a job? Just find out the reason. That's number
Yes.
one. I think that's the basic question.
Yes. That's you're spot on, Adam. Why are you selling? And then once they tell you why, ask them what they're going to do with the money, because every seller is a potential lender. And not everybody needs all the money. Everybody thinks a real estate transaction is about money. That is completely untrue. Real estate transactions are not about money. They're about what someone is trying to accomplish. Now, money may be part of that equation, but I've had properties that we've bought where people said, let's take a house for instance. I need $400,000. Well, what are you going to do with the money? Well, I've got a $20,000 medical bill I want to pay. Okay, so now you don't have a $400,000 problem. You have a $20,000 problem. You just told me that. What if I can solve that $20,000 problem for you? Well, that's 20 grand's a lot less than 400, right? And so you have to dig and get into, and open-ended questions are better. And if you don't know how to answer an open, or don't know how to ask an open-ended question, you mirror them. And by mirroring, what I mean is, they make a statement, you repeat the last 3 or 4 words they said in the form of a question. So, like, for instance, I need $400,000 for my house. You need $400,000 for your house? And then just be quiet.
Yeah.
And they will give supporting information. I've done this for hours with sellers. I just repeated the last thing they said to me, and then shut up and be quiet. They will tell you things you would have never thought to ask. And so be work on becoming emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence is key when negotiating with anyone. So, work on that part of it. Don't work on finding money. Eh, Become emotionally intelligent, you know, and then that will help you find deals.
That's a great way to recap this. I think very beneficial for anyone that's going to listen to this. And I'm sure there'll be follow up questions. So we'll have them get in touch with you, and we'll love to have you back on. We can talk more detail about a
Yeah,
real deal.
I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.